There are characters who don't need to be loud to make everyone stay on guard. This week in Emmerdale, Joe Tate is exactly that kind of person. Someone living two versions of himself at the same time, and both sides make it hard to tell who he really is. Graham Foster sees it more clearly than anyone. He's the one who realizes Joe is walking two paths at once. On the first path, Joe is trying to be a family man. He's in a stable relationship with Dawn Taylor, and it doesn't stop at romance. He's working to build real connections with Dawn's children, Clemmy, Lucas, and Evan. And that matters, because Joe isn't someone who grew up with a complete, loving home or a strong sense of belonging. The fact that he's starting to realize he doesn't want to lose this new family feels like a significant shift. It makes it seem like, at least in some moments, Joe is finally touching something normal that he never truly had before. But running alongside that is Joe's second life, fully intact, unchanged at its core. Joe is still a Tate in every sense, and he proves it through ambition and land. He's already succeeded in securing the Sugden farmland, and he has no intention of stopping. The next target remains Butler's, and Joe's determination is bordering on obsession. That contrast is what unsettles Graham. Because Graham has seen Joe with Clemmy, and it leaves him questioning why someone who appears to be building a new version of himself can, at the same time, be so intent on destroying Moira Dingle's life. Graham can see the contradiction. Joe's actions in this land battle are staining the more tolerable image he's been showing in recent months. But Joe doesn't care about those questions. Graham's opinion doesn't carry weight with him. For Joe, money sits at the center of every decision. It's what shapes his moral boundaries. When an opportunity appears, Joe can turn ruthless and ugly without needing any extra excuse. And that makes any better version of Joe, if it even exists, feel more fragile than ever. A few days ago, Kim Tate told Joe to rein it in, at least temporarily. She wanted him to back off from going after Butler's because she didn't want Moira's situation to get even worse. But Joe is the kind of man who's hard to pull back once he wants something. Being considerate, or taking a step aside, isn't his strength. He may listen, but that doesn't mean he'll obey. And next week, the tension becomes more direct. Cain Dingle returns from another visit to the prison and finds Joe in the house, even sitting on the sofa. Cain reacts fiercely and tries to throw Joe out, but Maddie Barton steps in, breaks up the fight, and reveals that he's the one who let Joe in. Maddie pushes Cain to stop clashing with everyone and focus on supporting his wife instead. That moment drives Cain close to breaking point, while Joe looks even more smug because he's managed to stay, and he's watching Cain get trapped in pressure and emotion. Later, back at home farm, Joe reassures Kim that Moira's farm will soon be theirs. But the key issue is how Joe is going about it. His approach leaves both Kim and Graham unhappy. And that's rare, because Kim and Graham are not people who easily agree with each other. When they share the same unease, it's a sign Joe is moving in a direction that even his allies find dangerous. To me, the most compelling part of this storyline isn't simply who wins the land battle. It's the tug-of-war inside Joe himself. On one side, the new family he's trying to hold on to. On the other, the ambition. And the pull of money, dragging him back. Those two lives can't keep running side by side forever without a cost. When someone wants to be loved like an ordinary person while still grabbing what he wants at any price like a Tate, something will eventually crack. Either his relationship with Dawn and the children, or the last boundaries Kim and Graham are still willing to tolerate. So the big question is, will Kim and Graham actually stop Joe, or will they let him keep going until Moira's world is completely destroyed? If you've made it this far, leave a comment for me. Do you think Joe is genuinely changing because of Dawn and the kids, or is it just a temporary mask? And do you think Kim will stand by Joe to the end, or step in before things go too far? If you want me to keep updating the latest Emmerdale developments, don't forget to like and subscribe.